Hello everyone, I'm on the left and I'm playing a TLTbots Y-Wings equipped with the twin laser turrets and extremely annoying ships and pumped up Corran with regeneration with R2D2, push the limit, and an engine upgrade to make him extremely mobile. That was my bet. I also added some R2A2 to try to stress my enemy with one of my wings, and a BB8. It was an experiment. Give a little bit more mobility and have maybe a Y-wing who would block the other ships.
And this is me, Klaus, on the right. I'm playing the Aggressor list, also known as the BroBots list, because it involves two aggressors, IG-88B and IG-88C, fully tooled up. They're 50 point each, with heavy laser cannons, adaptability for a bit more pilot skill, auto thrusters, IG-2000 of course, and feedback array.
Okay, positioning. I had initiative, right?
Yes.
And my Y-wings are first. I just put them there because I was planning on flying through that line of asteroids. Did you have like a specific?
Yeah, no,
plan?
I messed up a bit because I wanted to go straight forward against you, but then I actually, as I was turning the dial, then I changed my mind, which was really, really bad because I want to close in on the Y-wings as quick as possible, and that was a big, big mistake. And I realized that a few seconds into the game that, of course, Corran Horn, he should have been my primary target.
I hoped that you would actually go forward, so my Y-wings would get in range 1, close. I mean, as soon as possible, and then my Corran could turn around and flank you.
Yeah. And
So I was surprised with this one turn.
yeah, and you can see now that I'm trying to close in on Corran Horn, and I'm a bit messy in the beginning, which is really, really bad in so many different ways. And one of the aggressors is left behind, which is also just really bad measurement.
So I changed my strategy, and you can see my Corran is actually going right instead of a 5 straight because your aggressors are turning. I was actually surprised. I didn't check your dial careful enough to see that you had a 90 degrees turn. So that's a pretty aggressive.
The aggressors, they are super, super fast. And also, of course, it was a bit of a problem catching you in the asteroids, but I thought that the mobility of the aggressors would actually make it possible to catch up with you.
Now look at this move with the Y-wing that has the BB-8. I put him right in front of the asteroid, which is a move that I would never do, usually. But this actually gives me a possibility of the next time I move it, I can move it left if I do a green maneuver. I move it left in front or I move it right in front, which is great because that depends on how close or how far you'll be.
Now this is really, really, because here I'm pondering whether or not he should do a boost forward, and that's really stupid that I'm doing it, because that brings me into the firing arc of the second Y-wing behind the asteroid, and thereby also giving you 2 TLT shots on him. So that was really a messy movement.
And actually, the other one could have stayed a bit back for a second wave. I don't know.
Now he leaves himself open for a full round not of shooting. I think I have to get used to these 2 large base ships, because they of course cover a much larger area than I'm used to when I play a TIE list. But
And actually, I was pretty confident with the resistance of the Y-wings, because they actually have 8 hit points, 3 shields and 5 hull. So I knew they would survive a bit of shooting, and I was afraid that you would attack Corran very quickly.
No.
So you see, it's completely behind the waves of Y-wings.
Yeah.
But actually, your tactic was not Corran.
No, well, it should have been, and somehow I wanted to, but then I realized that my setup was totally wrong. So now I opted for trying to take out one of the Y-wings, so that at least that I wouldn't have to deal with 3 ships. But that didn't work so well, because I ended up, as we'll see later in the game, I ended up having quite a lot of rounds without shooting with one of the aggressors. And then obviously the BroBot list is at half strength, which is not good against a 3-ship list like the TLT.
But you actually dealt 4 damage on this, because I got a blank and you got 4 hits.
Yeah.
So you took out my 3 shields, and I can see 1 damage on the Y-wing.
Yeah, but of course the heavy laser cannons, they are quite hefty. But then imagine if I had brought myself in a situation where I could have shot with both of the aggressors. That would have been really amazing.
You could actually
Lesson to be learned.
bring one Y-wing down right in the
exactly.
beginning before he starts being annoying.
Yeah, exactly. Now, of course, the aggressors, they're really showing their strength with a lot of agility and also the auto thrusters, which makes them really powerful ships at range 3 and outside of your firing arc.
Yeah, auto thrusters is it's a pain in the ass for twin laser turrets out of the what do you call the
outside of the firing arc.
Firing arc,
Yeah,
because
it really is.
it really helps negate those extra damage.
And now I'm in doubt if you're shooting with your second TLT.
I think yes, because I was so fast because I was not confident that I was gonna hit anything, and you had so many dice, so probably I was just getting it over with. But so far you have a positive beginning. With
that's just until Corran Horn he gets in with his double shot, which I of course had in the back of my head constantly, that the moment that he came in he could be pretty decisive. I mean the aggressors, they're super agile, they're super fast, they hit hard both with laser cannons and at range 1 with the native attack, but they're also quite fragile. They only have 8 hit points in total.
For a large ship, it is a bit weak.
Now this is going to be interesting, because I was pondering what you want to do, if you want to go head on, because now of course you are at range 1, which is limiting your twin laser your twin laser turret, but then.
But actually, my one of my best ideas was that to place this big asteroid in the middle and to cause some difficulty maneuvering. That I knew that for me it would not be so bad because I have small ships, but you maneuvering with my ships and with the big asteroids in the middle, that would have been, a problem, and it was a problem.
But now of course you saw that I put on a focus token in the beginning. This is really where the advanced sensors, they're really good, because it allows you to take the actions before you start moving, and thereby also taking actions even if you bump or you know that you're going to end up.
So it's kind of an anti-bump measure.
Yeah, or at least if you have a lot of ships that will be blocking you, or if you suddenly see that your path has been blocked by ships with lower pilot skill, then, and this is really a bad move, right? It could have been avoided actually, but that was really a bad move.
Because actually, if you weren't in the asteroid, you could have shot me
exactly
heavily.
Yeah. So that was really silly. But this is a good move around for Corran Horn.
And actually, I was really dying to roll instead of 3. I was really dying to roll 4. So I think sacrificing one extra movement and boosting was because also the other one couldn't shoot, so it was all
no, exactly. This is sort of but this is also two ships, the Y-wing and the Corran Horn, on one of the aggressors, which is a really bad matchup, and in particular at that close range, and of course bearing in mind that Corran Horn, he will have his second shot at the end of the combat phase.
And Corran has 3-4 hits. Is it possible?
Yeah, I think that we, in the beginning, both of us, we had pretty good die rolls, especially when it came to attacking. It was a bit more poor on the defending side.
But that was only 1 shield.
That's of course because of.
I mean, for a large ship, having 3 agility is unusual.
No, that's really amazing. But it is also a list that will, if you run 2 aggressors, you need to tool them up. Of course, if you ran sort of like a discounted version, you could maybe add another ship, but you simply need them to be tooled up, because otherwise they're not going to survive. They need everything. You could choose maybe heavy laser cannons or mangler cannons over heavy laser cannons, but they would end up over 40 points each.
But right now you're insisting on the Y-wing, the one that is hurt.
Yeah. It's because I want to take it down, because these 2 shots per round, even though it's just 2 points of damage. If it's continuously 2 points of damage, that's going to count in the end.
Okay. And then I thought, why not stress the other
that's
guy?
with your stress bot.
I mean, he's already stressed just by being in an asteroid, but now he's officially stressed. Probably I won't hit much.
I think you have 2 hits there, huh?
And
I'm looking for changing 1 with the ultra thrusters.
But you had one evade, or
I think I had a focus because I removed the focus token, and then I get 1 free.
Okay, so finally something took a little shield. But I mean, that's the game of the Y-wings. They just have to stay away from your firing arc and chip away your shields.
And they're durable ships. They're not the most maneuverable ships, but they can take a beating. He's at range 1. I think that was this very, very close situation where he ended up actually being at range 2, right? The Y-wing.
So right now I'm shooting at range 2, and but you're out of the fire arc.
Yeah,
no?
yeah. So I get to take advantage of the ultra thrusters.
It's 2
Then comes the
hits,
second shot.
and I think nothing passes once again. Somehow I needed to get. My feeling was I needed to get around. Second shot with Corran. Focus.
For 4 hits.
And you're about to roll also more.
So I end up with 2 shields off. So now I'm left with 0 shields of one of the aggressors.
Which opens you up for some
Yeah,
crits.
and that makes him very, very vulnerable.
But now I can't shoot with Corran. But that's fine, because my position just leads me away.
This is a quite decisive moment in the game, actually. It's still early on, of course, but it is quite decisive because I'm pondering. I chose the wrong movement. I'm pondering what to do, and of course I ended up going into the asteroid field, as we'll see in a moment.
And I was considering that my Corran, instead of just running away, why not try to bump? Why not just cause? Because I mean, he's full. He has regeneration with R2D2, and I'm hoping you will not shoot him down in one attack, so he can just go away and regenerate. So why not use him for bumping, and get the Y-wings chance to shoot at range 1 with the primary weapon?
And I think I was at this time so focused on staying at range 1 that I simply messed up where to go.
Yeah, he will maybe pass, maybe bump. Just gonna make sure.
And it's one of these super tight movements, but
And it actually passed.
yeah, that's true. He was just sneaking by.
So the only bumping possibility is Corran. And your aggressors were 7 pilot skill.
Yeah, because of adaptability, this dual card where you can either raise or increase your pilot skill with 1 or lower it with 1, and I raised it to 7. That didn't really have an impact in this game because Corran is 8 and your Y-wings, they were 2. But it's a free card, so it's a free pilot upgrade.
And here is another bump.
And that leaves him on the asteroid.
So basically you have to put the template on top of the asteroid to fly, so you basically have to roll again, and you don't get to shoot.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get to take actions, don't get to shoot.
But at least it didn't cause you.
No. Actually, I think that in both instances I didn't take damage from the asteroids.
Okay.
And Corran is moving in. He's actually also bumping.
Yeah, that was my my main idea for preventing shooting, because he can't shoot anyway. but I could have just moved one and pursue the IG that is running away. I didn't think he would manage, but he did. It's just that I was still not used to these one very aggressive turns, because none of my ships have this. None of the X-wings, Corran, E-wings or Y-wings. It's just a move I'm not used to see on my dials. I don't play Imperial or Scum, so it's just...
And since it is essentially a 90-degree turn, and because it's a big template ship, it rotates on the far right corner. That really brings it about. So you can be in a situation with no possibility of shooting, and then suddenly you're straight in the face of something.
So 2 failed attacks on the running aggressor.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was through an asteroid. No, maybe not.
Yeah, it depends. Maybe if it's it depends on which Y-wing it is. One of them is definitely through an asteroid. The other one just clears the asteroid. Yeah, no, I can see it.
And that one was actually not touching, so that is range 1. 2 hits.
That's really where you can feel that the aggressors are good ships, because they have high agility and they have high native attacks as are you as well.
But at this moment, you are still, in terms of damage and in terms of ship durability, you are still on top.
Yeah,
because one of my Y-wings is now a bit weakened, 4 hull points left.
Yeah, no.
And it's the one that stresses. So it's the most important one.
This, of course, in these situations where I simply constantly had to keep in mind, and I didn't, but I had to keep in mind that I had feedback array, because obviously the one on the aggressor on the asteroid won't be able to use it, but you can, instead of attacking with the feedback array, you can cause 1 damage to you and a damage to a ship at range 1, which of course is very dangerous to Corran, because he's a low hit point ship.
And it has to be at range 1.
Yeah, exactly. But instead of shooting, and I don't know why I didn't think about it, but Corran Horn could essentially have been killed in 1 turn. If I had been at range 1 with both my ships, I could have taken 1 damage to each of the aggressors and actually have killed Corran Horn.
And it passes the shields.
Yeah, I'm actually not entirely sure. Does it? Let me just see here. Maybe not.
Okay, because that would have been a sneaky way of... So we are moving. Once again, BB-8 allowing me to position my Y-wing kind of in the line of movement of your aggressor coming out of the asteroid, because my deal there was to block you as much as possible. And the other one just goes through. And
he's turning around. He's probably going to boost in order to get into firing range.
I can see you're a big fan of boosting. They have boost by...
No, but it's also because remember that one of the IGs, if you boost, you also get a free evade.
Oh yeah,
so
it's
basically...
It's a must do if you want to.
It's action economy, right? You get 2 actions for the price of 1.
But maybe it will lead you to do bad decisions, because sometimes boosting is not your...
True. Yeah.
It's kind of pressuring you. Okay, so he actually bumped immediately on Corran, and I think Corran is not going anywhere.
And that leaves him for the 3rd consecutive round on an asteroid. That's 3 rounds of not shooting with the aggressor with a heavy laser cannon. That's really, really bad. And of course it tilts the odds heavily in your favor, because it's half of all my shooting, and it's 4 attack dice. And of course with the IG B's ability of shooting twice, that's really really hurting.
Corran didn't move, but it was a green movement, so I got stress free.
Yeah.
Which is useful. And he would have been able to shoot this turn, but no
now
targets.
He doesn't have any targets.
And you will shoot range 2.
You stressed Y-wing.
on the Y-wing that you actually wanted.
Mm-hmm. So it's a heavy laser cannon shot with gunner. So
3 hits.
No, I think it's only 2.
One
of them is a focus. Right, you take 1 damage.
Okay. So 1 evade, so basically 1 passed. 3 hull left, but he's still managing. I was still confident that he would survive, because that's what they do.
Unfortunately.
Okay, and
there's,
TLT,
shot.
you spend your evade.
Mm-hmm. And I take 1 damage.
So you don't spend your evade because basically there was no way of blocking that.
So there's no need. The TLTs, even if they make 3 hits, it's still just 1 damage. So there's no need to spend it.
So very, very useful turret round.
Yeah. Down to 2 hull on one of the aggressors, which of course makes it a lot more difficult playing with it, because now you have to be careful constantly where to go with it.
There was an evade for the second wave of laser turrets, and let's see if Corran can position itself in a way to... I believe my strategy here was actually to K-turn it, to get him back on the action. I don't know if...
across the asteroid and K-turn.
Yeah, I would just risk, because he can regenerate, and I just wanted to get behind one of your IGs.
Yeah.
And if you boost it, I mean, you could still bump into my ships. But actually positioning this Y-wing there was maybe not the best idea.
Let's see where you're going with the second Y-wing. You're just passing around the asteroid. That's good. Good positioning.
And you have the possibility of barrel rolling.
With advanced sensors, I can barrel roll before movement or after
Okay.
movement, or after activation.
Because that's another way of preventing bumping.
Yeah, exactly. Now he just want to get out of there. He's been asteroid humping enough.
Which is something that I was actually hoping before, because I can still attack you and turn around, and you'll just trying to get back in the game.
But of course, I should have done it earlier, simply gotten out of there, because it's not like bumping. It's not going to ensure that you don't fire. You just don't fire at that ship. So I would take the shot in either case. So I should actually have gotten around to moving it out of your or out of the away from the asteroid much earlier.
I think the 1 turn is probably your favorite move this game.
Yeah. They also when you look at it, we could have played on 2/3 of the board.
Yeah.
No,
Here you
no
can't. But you have shot on the injured
I had a shot on
Y-wing, range
on
2,
the stressed Y-wing escaping.
and that is a focus.
Yeah. Of course, it was a natural thing to consider the boost, because it would give you a free evade action.
And here there was a bump that I didn't really hoped for.
Oh yeah, the Corran horn and the.
But it was either this or staying on the asteroid,
Yeah.
or positioning myself in your line of fire.
Yeah.
So actually, it's the least of. Now, but if I turned 2 to the right, that would put me in the best position. I would still risk 1 damage, which didn't happen, and I would fire with 4, and that would be.
Okay. And actually, now that I remember it, it's also that that if I had been able to boost with the aggressor towards the stressed Y-wing, then I would have been at range 1, which meant that your TLTs wouldn't work, and you would be turning the wrong way for your primary weapon. Now I'm doing a heavy laser cannon shot. You evade.
But I take 1 damage,
yeah.
but I was happy because he lives another day.
And it's just 1, and if you had evaded, if I had just had 1 hit and you had evaded, I would have had a second shot with the gun ability.
Which is something that I kept forgetting.
Yeah,
actually it's good to take 1 with a gunner instead of taking 4 or 3.
Yeah, but even though that with the heavy laser cannon that you cancel crits, it can still be devastating with just 1 defense or just 1 agility die. It can be really, really tough.
So the first TLT forces you to waste your focus.
And then
you took damage.
I took 1. I think you...
No, I was shooting at range 1. So that was only 1 shot with the primary weapon.
That's true.
And now I'm shooting TLT.
And there's nothing that's blank shots. There's the second TLT shot.
That was not my day. Sometimes it is like this. And I know that you have auto thrusters, so my hopes are not very high when I'm running away and I'm shooting the lasers. But at this moment I was thinking, what should I do with Corran? Because I can see your other aggressor coming around. And if we're gonna face each other, I still feel pretty confident, but maybe I would weaken it too much.
Yeah, there's a 1 turn, I think, coming.
Yeah, that was my what I was predicting, but how to get around that. So let's see. It's a game without many target locks.
Yeah.
There was no time for that.
Yeah, and a lot of bumping going on as well, so of course not that many actions.
Mostly with this list, I like to place a lot of asteroids in the middle. And I think even if I every now and then accidentally bump or just lose my possibility of shooting, I think it causes more damage to the opponent in general. So I think it's worth it.
And now you're getting behind one of the aggressors, but
this would be ideal if your aggressor actually didn't go far. If he stayed there. But let's see what's gonna happen.
So he's bumping Corran Horn, turning around.
So he didn't go far.
No.
But then you're gonna come from the back, and I think I commented at the time that was your opportunity. But he was actually full health, or no, he had one shield left, which is okay. Which, I mean, you can deal 4 damage max.
Yeah, but and of course at range 1 it's 4 with the primary weapon, and it's 4 at range 2 and 3 with the secondary.
So crits can pass, and maybe will pass.
And I still get to have the gunner if I don't damage you with my primary weapon. The gunner effect on the B will still allow me to shoot with my secondary weapon and another target.
Okay, so a K turn was called for, and it was the time to shoot again. So confirming the range 1. And Corran shoots first with his pilot skill 8.
And now this round potentially with 2 attacks, so I'm looking at having an aggressor off the table.
And my hope is always to, if I get range 1, I'll shoot twice with Corran, and
exactly.
I'm not gonna be planning too much. I'll just go for it, and if I'm lucky, I'll deal a lot of damage.
And it would take a miracle not to take damage from 2 shots at range 1 with Corran.
So that was actually off. No.
No, now
that was in range.
Yeah, now the aggressor just in front of Corran Horn is taking a heavy laser cannon shot at your Y-wing. What are you pondering here? that was the other one when you took
Yeah,
a critical
yeah.
hit. That's with the primary weapon. I was mistaken. I thought it was the aggressor in front of Corran, but this is the one that's chasing
So
the Y-wing.
yeah, this was an attack with the one that was in the perfect position.
Yeah.
And it was not bad. I mean, a crit is always a crit. I think I lost one of my attack dice.
Yes, that's true.
Which is annoying. I have to spend an action to go to flip it. And I was just waiting for Corran to shoot again because your ship had one hull.
Yeah, exactly. It only has one hull left.
And you're really hoping because I had 3 hits, and I mean, you needed 3 evades, so he's off the board. And that is how many points?
That's 50 points. They're 50 points each, so it's quite a big investment. Now, of course, I'm looking at 3 ships, but one Y-wing almost destroyed, another Y-wing with 2 hull left. So I'm at this time. I'm not too worried about my chances. Of course, I need to get rid of the Y-wings fast. I know that if I can't hold my own against 3 ships, but if I get rid of one of the Y-wings in one round and then potentially the other in the next round. But of course, I'm looking at 4 TLT shots per round, which is potentially killing.
But at least Corran can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I was de-stressing my my Y-wing. He's I have a feeling he would not be in range in whatever case. So just try to get him back in shape.
Yeah.
And
Trying to run fast.
yeah, I think I made this mistake twice because I shouldn't expect to run away from the aggressors. They can just catch up very
fast.
easily. I think
They can barrel roll, they can boost, so they have a lot of possibilities. And you try to get rid of your crit, but you failed. So you still,
which was very annoying because for a Y-wing that was about to be hit again, and the boost is really a useful thing in this case. Although I think he didn't boost. But that
took a target lock.
That makes it range 2, I have a feeling. And Corran can shoot. At least you can shoot at him. That's been my classic move. It's not very annoying because I'm the last one to move.
Yeah.
But at least you don't get any ideas of aiming at him. So let's see if the Y-wing goes down. That is 2 hits. No, reroll target lock.
And
3 hits.
changing the crit into a hit. So we're looking at 3 hits. I'm pointing towards the damage deck. I wanted to die fast.
And
it's off.
He doesn't make it.
And now, of course, I know that I'll have Corran chasing me, either with a K-turn now or
No, but he was stressed.
swinging around. Oh, that's true.
So yeah, I was a bit defensive.
Yeah.
I should have just do a green to unstress and predict that you will not shoot him in any case because the Y-wing was hurt. But I was still feeling confident.
Now the hunt is on for the second Y-wing. I need to get rid of that one fast so that I'm not taking too many TLT shots from you, and then hope that I can do a face-off with Corran. I actually still have 2 shields left. So.
Is there any way of your aggressor having regeneration?
No, that's a rebel thing with your astromechs and whatnot. As far as I remember, I don't think that there's possibilities for the scum and villain list to regain lost shields. I might be mistaken though, but as far as I remember,
maybe something will come out eventually.
Yeah, they have this. Maybe at one point they'll make something about stealing shields. At least that's what I see that the scum and villain list is about. It's basically about stealing stuff and
Stealing
being
a
super
shield
annoying.
is as nasty as it can be.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not just improving, it's basically a hit.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's a double hit because it's without even attacking. I mean, if that would be the case, it's like pal up and he's stealing evade and focus token, which is super annoying.
No, but if at some point there is an action that allows you to steal shields, at least you have to lose your attack, because otherwise it's just gonna be too much.
Now Corran, he's trying to get in
Yeah.
a better position.
Somehow I wished I had those 1 turns
Yeah.
to get me back in action pretty quickly, but I just had barrel rolls and
And this is now it's a fairly good position for the aggressor because it's a fast ship, so it will close the distance on the Y-wing. Of course, I'm not in shooting range now, but this, of course, also a limitation to the aggressor that, of course, its heavy laser cannon, it only works in its firing arc.
yes, I think here I was reconsidering what should I do, because I'm not gonna get you in my firing arc soon enough. I think I was hoping for 2 turns where my Y-wing would survive, and
And I
eventually you would be too distracted with it to protect
Yeah.
yourself.
I think you got your 2 turns. Maybe it was simply a mistake that I didn't at that time realize that I should go for Corran Horn, but I felt that you had a ship with very little hull left. I just had to try and take it out. As far as I remember, it survived this attack, right? I also don't know why I take target locks here, since I have the gunner ability on.
Yeah.
So the effect of a target lock is minimal.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, you get to do it 3 times if it doesn't hit, or if you don't have enough hits. But
it should simply have been a focus action, or maybe even an evade action to protect myself from potential TLT shots.
But now we are converging to a deadly situation.
Yeah. Now there are 2 ships closing in on the last aggressor.
Okay, I'm still out of a firing arc, but you're also...
I can't shoot Corran here.
Yeah. And when I'm repositioning, I always feel a bit bad of pushing the limit, stressing him, and then I have to unstress him to get the 2 actions that will get me in the best possible case.
Maybe I'm still mentally damaged from playing Sun Fell because he benefits from getting stressed. Right?
And this was a little mistake, because I used the focus to evade, but that allowed you to use the gunner.
Yeah, exactly. You should just.
And then you should have just taken the hit. But then by a strike of luck.
Yeah, there's. I mean, I only have 1,
and I get to evade again.
And you get your evade.
So
I think this is also really a decisive moment in the game, because if I had gotten rid of the Y-wing here and I'd been able to have a face-off with Corran Horn, that might have actually ended up, because of course the regeneration of Corran Horn is dependent on him being able to have someone to distract the opponent, but being 1 ship left, that could really have been nasty. But now I face TLT shots, 1 shield off, 1 shield left. And then
I was super happy that this TLT shot happened, because he survived and he got to bite back.
Yeah, exactly. If he had been out there, I would have been left with 2 shields, 4 hull, even against a Corran Horn that can do 2 attack. That could be a fairly even matchup, because that would leave Corran Horn. He wouldn't be able, even with at range 1 with 8 attack dice, it would be difficult for him to kill an aggressor in 1 round with 2 shields left. And that would leave him with 1 round of not shooting. So that was really bad.
Yeah, it is difficult to calculate in terms of mobility, because I feel like you have a bit more mobility because you have turns that I don't have. But on the other hand, you are a big ship. So if I'm circling around asteroids, I think you'll have difficulties that I will not have. And because I have regeneration, maybe I wouldn't mind going through some asteroids, and that's something you have to think twice. And here was just a silly move. I mean, where was I going with this Y-Wing? But if I didn't do this, you could have used your advanced sensors to try to prevent him from going so far, or try to barrel roll before moving, and then... Exactly. So basically you would probably end up...
But the interesting thing is here that you moved, I mean, you made a long move, you tried to get out, but with this barrel roll, because the barrel roll brings you so far with a large ship base, that I basically end up with just one base in between us. Of course, leaving him with no shots, but now with Corran closing in on the other side.
And now I was pretty confident, even if I barrel rolled into your
my
firing arc, or just... I had a feeling you would not shoot me. Because you see an injured ship and it...
no, of course I just...
You smell blood, and you go for it. And here was really...
that was really, really tight. That could have gone either way.
Because I really need my one range to shoot 2 times. That is...
And get your extra attack dice.
2 times 4 dice. There's possible 8 hits. It's insane.
And that is why... Good luck with pushing the limit.
Yeah, that is why in this list, instead of Poe, who is a trustworthy ship, but I mean, I need firepower. So here we have 4 hits, which is wonderful. And
one shield off. But now I can just wait for the second attack from Corran. Of course, getting to take my shot on the Y-Wing first. Hopefully taking it out. It's not going to shoot anyways.
And this is primary weapon because it's range 1.
Exactly. But it's still 4 at range 1, so it's almost as effective as my... it's actually as
that was not possible. So...
and now I just have to hope that your second... Corran shot is not going to take too many. Actually, it could kill me, but it's unlikely. But I just had to hope that it didn't take too many hull points off me, because now I know that I have to bring myself in a position that I can put the hurt on you, because this is your second attack. So the next round you won't be able to shoot, but you'll be swooping right past me in the next round.
And that is 4 hits. And I had a target lock that I didn't get to use, which I would save for later.
Yeah. And
so
1 and a crit. And as far as I remember, the crit is the one that reduces... actually, I take 2 crits there. Wow. Is it the one that reduces my pilot skill, and one that makes all my white maneuvers red?
Yeah. So 1 hull left. What is the rule? A ship with 50 points that loses all the shields.
A large base ship with half its combined hull and shields is worth 50%, right? So in either case, you already have 75%. So I would need to kill Corran. Actually, we didn't clock this, so we're not playing on time, but that would have been the case if it had been a timed game. So in either case, I would have to kill Corran off to win this game.
Yeah. Or to weaken him enough. I mean.
Yeah, but he's not. He doesn't give you 50 points. It's only large spaceships. So in either case, I wouldn't be able to pull it off without having him. Now
so the rules are not the same for small ships or for large ships.
No.
There is a disadvantage.
And now, of course, comes in.
I wasn't expecting this.
He's stressed.
I wasn't expecting, and
the Cygnus loop.
I've made this maneuver flying into a corner of a mat a few times. That didn't go well. But if I'm flying and I'm a small ship, usually big ships would consider twice before doing it.
Yeah.
So
And I'm going past you, hoping that I'll be able to reposition myself, maybe get at range 3 where I can get some shots off you.
Didn't you want to get away from the asteroid as soon as possible? Because that takes away your maneuverability.
True. I don't think that it was getting away from the asteroid as such, because the asteroid can also be used to my benefit in terms of giving me just a bit of protection. Because right now I only need to take one hit and I'm out. So the more protection I can get, the better. And then I just have to live with the fact that it will take time to get you down. But this is really the dying moments of an aggressor, trying to figure out how to turn itself around and at the same time get a few shots of an unharmed Corran horn.
Yeah, but at least, I mean, my move is very predictable. What could you have done to avoid? Because I'm turning left for sure.
Yeah.
And you were going into open space. But it is still not a ideal position. And the little boost never hurts. But I still don't get to shoot. It's still far. But I knew the chase was getting on.
And now we're trying to figure out how to turn around. So there's a barrel roll trying to get across the asteroid. And that's a weird movement there.
Okay, this was a risky maneuver.
It brought me by a very, very small margin that it fitted. I have to admit, it surprised me a bit that I was that close to the edge actually. But now I'm turned around, I'm ready for the last joust to see if I can in one round take off 5 points of Corran horn, which of course not possible, but you could always hope that you would remain unscathed and that even your 2 attacks wouldn't damage. And 2 attacks at range 3, there's still a fair chance with auto thrusters and 3 agility. It's possible.
Yeah, it would be your best option was to always stay at range 3.
So of course always important to remember, even with the odds tilting in favor of the defense with auto thrusters at range 3, the dice are simply still meant for attacking, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get much more out of attacking than you do in defending.
But here you moved.
Yeah, that was
3.
also silly. That was a really silly
Wouldn't
move.
you just barrel roll before and move like a minimum possible and wait?
I should have
try
kept
to
myself
hold
at
the range 3.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I boost and I try to get as close as possible, and
maybe the aggressor is just tired. He wants to go home.
there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
No. It would have been a miraculous turn if he had changed.
So I
the odds.
did one action. So I couldn't really barrel roll into range 1, I think.
No, I think that would have been really, really difficult. We started quite far apart, even with the 3 movement from
But
my
there was
side.
still a little voice inside my head telling me, you should try, because that will definitely solve the game. So I tried. But in any case, target lock and shooting first.
And this is
So that's 3 dice, range 2.
Yeah, the final rolls. and it comes
Yeah,
up with
3 hits. So yeah,
So I
and
need
you
three-
didn't roll enough
3
evades plus a second attack coming, so
Yeah.
that was it. And
and
yeah,
even
it was
with the
a
focus.
it was a good match.
Yeah, it was a quite interesting match. It's the first time I played the Aggressors, and it was quite interesting to see how they could move and their firepower and so on. I'll play it again. I'll make a few changes to the list, but I'll definitely try them out again.
I think after trying a few aces on my list, I think Corran is the chosen one.
Cornhorn is the way to go. He's also super cool. I can definitely see why you prefer Cornhorn over Dameron Poe. Although Dameron Poe's native ability of changing both attacks and defense with focus tokens is also really cool. But Cornhorn R2D2, it's a super nasty combination.
It's just there's so many ships out there stealing focus that Poe is not the same.
No, it's true.
Yeah, and that's all for today. It was
Thank
a good
you.
match.
Yeah. Thank you for the
We'll-
game.
Next time we'll try something new.
We'll definitely try something new.